The brain is the most important organ in the body. It manages most of our body's activities such as heart beating and lung breathing, and also is the very seat of our emotions and cognitive abilities. As we age, our brains go through certain changes. By the age of 6, the brain size increases to about 90% of its volume in adulthood. Then, in our 30s and 40s, the brain starts to shrink, with the shrinking rate increasing even more by the age of 60. Not only did wrinkles and gray hairs increase, but cognitive functions and abilities also started to decrease. To improve brain functions and keep it happy and healthy, it's time to take care of your diet. For your information, this video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. So, please consult with your professional doctor if you face any medical problems. If you know somebody, either family members or friends who are interested in this topic, feel free to share with them because this video will be useful to them. Wondering what foods harm our brains? It is all because of inflammatory foods such as processed foods. Eating too much of inflammatory foods can lead to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation happens even when there is no injury or illness. Our body might send white blood cells to fight off the healthy tissue instead, which may bring negative effects to our bodies. Chronic inflammation leads to many serious conditions other than heart attack and diabetes. It also leads to reducing brain functions and developing neurological issues such as depression, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. Therefore, diet plays an important role in inflammation. This video will show you what should not eat and what should eat instead. Let's dig in. The first food that harms the brain is refined carbohydrates. High refined carb foods such as white bread, white pasta, and white rice have a high glycemic index. This means our body digests them quickly, causing a major spike in blood sugar and insulin level. The faster a food turns into glucose in the body, the higher its GI's ranking. A high intake of refined carbs with a high glycemic index may impair memory and intelligence as well as increase the risk of dementia. Instead of consuming refined carbohydrates, we should eat whole carbohydrates such as whole grain bread or brown rice because they consist of high fiber. As we eat, the foods are digested slowly and blood sugar is better regulated, which leads to reducing glycemic index. This way can help us to boost energy and focus. The second food that we should avoid is processed meat. Consuming lots of processed meat such as bacon, sausages, salami, and hot dogs may develop Alzheimer's disease. Many processed meat is high in salt, nitrates, and saturated fats. Nitrates are used as a preservative and to enhance colors in delight slices, and cured meats may be connected to depression. Instead, we should consume nuts and seeds, which are excellent sources of protein and healthy fats. Healthy seeds, such as pumpkin seeds, are richer in zinc compared to other seeds and also consist of high minerals, which are vital for enhancing memory and thinking skills. While for healthy nuts like walnuts are one of the top nuts for brain health due to their high in a type of omega-3 fatty acids called alpha-linolenic acid. This kind of fatty acid helps to lower blood pressure, clean arteries, and reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. The third food that harms the brain is sugary drinks. Sugary drinks like soda, energy drinks, fruit juice, and sport drinks consist of high fructose corn syrup, which increases the sugar levels in the blood. A high intake of sugary drinks harms the brain, such as poorer memory, smaller overall brain volume, and a significantly smaller hippocampus, which is the part of the brain important for learning and memory. To replace sugary drinks, we can drink kombucha instead. Kombucha is a fermented drink made from black or green tea. It is loaded with probiotics that improve gut health and the digestive system, which leads to boosting brain function via the gut-brain axis. It means that probiotic improves digestive health, which leads to easing symptoms associated with depression, anxiety, and stress while improving mood. The fourth food that we should eat less is cheese. Cheese consists of high saturated fats that clog our brain vessels just like it clogs our heart vessels. Higher saturated fat is linked with inflammation of the brain, a higher risk of stroke, and impaired memory. Instead, we should consume avocado as it is a plant-based food. Avocados are high in potassium, which can improve blood pressure and reduce the risk of stroke. They are also a great source of folate, which is a form of vitamin B9 to prevent cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. The fifth food that we should avoid is canned tuna. Even though tuna is nutritious and a great source of protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamin B, however, it contains a higher level of mercury, which is a toxic heavy metal. Higher levels of mercury in our bloodstreams can lead to brain cell death, which can cause a decline in cognitive function as well as anxiety and depression. Mercury exposure also can lead to poor mental health and heart disease. Therefore, we should consume oily fish as an alternative. Oily fish such as salmon, codfish, or sardines contains high omega-3 fatty acid in the form of EPA and DHA. Having a sufficient level of EPA and DHA helps us to manage stress and our brain cells to send electrical signals such as remembering, thinking, and focusing. Now you have learned what kinds of foods harm the brain and are good for the brain. We should avoid refined carbohydrates, processed meats, sugary drinks, cheese, and canned tuna because these foods harm the brain. Instead, we should eat whole carbohydrates, nuts and seeds, kombucha, avocado, and oily fish because these foods benefit the brain as well as fight off inflammation. If you think today's video is helpful, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to make more educational health videos. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.